we're talking of Theron, we're going to start with him.
Oh, cookie.
So, Theron's journey has been long. You've over the past year or so, you've been into the Underdark and had to use all of your skills and managed to survive and escape. You've been over several places in the Sword Coast, all on your current journey, and you've ended up at Waterdeep. And your journey continues from Waterdeep. You've had leads that lead you away from Waterdeep, and as you leave Waterdeep on a summer morning, hot summer morning, you wander out east of Waterdeep, and before too long, on this lovely summer morning, a mist develops, and the further you continue, the thicker the mist gets, and straight away you know that there's something weird and odd about it, but it's all-encompassing, all surrounding. Everywhere you turn, it surrounds Theron. As you continue, you notice that the grass, the dry yellow grass, starts to turn green and spongy to the sides, and moist and damp, and as you notice this, you notice that the deciduous trees become coniferous, and you all of a sudden your vision is reduced because of this fog, and you hear howls of wolves in the distance, and you know that wolves aren't necessarily this close to civilization, this close to Waterdeep. So how would Theron react to this, do we think?
Obviously, it's strange, isn't it? So he's all of a sudden he's walking through some really nice summer's weather, and then all of a sudden, bang! It's fog. Different types of trees. Obviously, could I do a nature check and just basically say, oh, this isn't where I was. Why has everything changed all of a sudden? Looking at the ground and things.
You'd know that automatically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he'd basically be surprised, like looking around himself, thinking, right, what do I do now? He's going to be a bit of a funny fucker, this one. He's going to have a bit of a giggle to himself and just carry on walking. Can he figure out how far away the howls are?
We can try. Let's have a... That sounds like a perception check to me, those.
Oh, cookie. 8.
8. Not entirely sure. And it seems to be reverberating. You're not sure if it's an echo travelling or if there's a wolf over there and a wolf over there. They're not close. They're distant howls.
Okay.
The mist itself is it's almost pushing at this point. It seems to be pushing you, sort of slowly undulating. That there's mist all around you, fog all around you, but there's this wall of mist that seems to be pushing and moving you. As you were moving east, you could only assume that you're still moving east.
I guess he'll talk to himself and go, I guess I'm going this way then, and get a bit of a jog on.
Okay, nice.
I say a cautious jog.
Okay, righto. So just a normal walk, but cautiously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after, the fog carries on. The mist is all around, and it is very much a different environment to where you were before. Not too far along the path, and it is still a path that you're going on. In fact, it turns from a path into more of a road, if anything. So you do get the occasional tracks of wagons and things on this road. But again, you'd have. How old is Theron?
See, I was trying to figure this out. Obviously, I don't know ages in D&D, but I'd say he's a... I want to say he's kind of like a young adult going into adult elf, so I don't know how old that would be. Obviously, he's not brand spanking out the pouch kind of thing, but he's getting towards an adult. He knows his way around a little bit, but he's still got that young naivety about him every now and again.
Okay. I think, without checking, I think standard elf is sort of 750 years, so good 200 years.
200, yeah,
we
gone
can
there.
say.
200 years. Then.
Well, the only reason
700 years.
It is 700, is it, Sam?
Yeah, I'm just quickly running through because I'm sure it says somewhere about when they reach adulthood and stuff.
We'll sort that out. Well, because I wanted to know if you'd have been to Waterdeep before, if you'd have been around the Sword Coast.
Yeah, so it would have been about in 200 years. That gives him enough time to learn what he's learned and travel a little bit in finding what he's trying to find.
Yeah, so you definitely, as the phrase goes, not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
So the track, you're aware of the fact that it would be a road, but you've moved into more of a dirt track with these the occasional wagon tracks across it, and about you kind of lose track of time. The sun's behind the mist now, and it is decidedly colder than a summer day on the Sword Coast. So you pull your cloak around you a little bit. Half an hour, perhaps an hour, who knows? Hour and a half, maybe 3 hours down the road, you do hear in the distance, coming from the direction that you're travelling, a scream, and it sounds like the scream of a child. What do you want to
do? Well, he's gonna go and have a look. He can make out that it's a scream of a child then.
Yeah.
Well, the character that he is probably that's a screaming child, and he'd probably dash. He'd probably make haste towards it.
Okay. So the howls are still in the distance, and the scream gets louder. It only takes you a good 2-3 minutes to cover the distance, and from the initial scream, you can hear a second scream, and you can see from the side of the road, or you can hear and sort of sense from the side of the road. In fact, let's have a perception check. Let's just see what.
Shit.
Yeah. So
I'm not very perceptive elf.
No, you're not doing good with this perception stuff. So it is. The scream is coming from the side of the road, and you seem to be approaching to the area where the scream is coming from, but you can't be any clearer. You suspect that it is north of you, off the road.
Okay. I think he's going to be a bit more cautious now, because obviously it's a second scream. Yeah, I think he'll still head in the direction of north, but he's going to be a bit more stealthy now and go, right, I'm getting closer. Is it getting louder, the scream?
It is. You've after you've travelled the short distance running along the road, the second scream, you're close enough now to hear that it's intensified. And it is a young child screaming, and it intensifies, and then there's almost a cry of pain or agony with it, and then there's a gurgling noise and a wet gurgling noise, a little bit of coughing, and then silence.
Okay.
And then there's another scream. Same position, same direction, and it's the same. And now the scream, just before the scream, there's a little bit of no, 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 very young.
Yeah.
And then screaming again. You're approaching stealthily. Do you want to roll stealth?
Why not? Let's see what this bad boy like. 22.
That's a bit better, at least. With a plus 10. Right, you've clearly a stealthy character. Okay. Yeah, okay, so 22. As you peer through the brush, about 50 feet through from the road, you can see what appears to be 2 small boys, possibly around the age of 10. One slightly bigger, one slightly younger, so 9 to 11, maybe somewhere around there. And they're both being held and strangled by what you can only describe as tree-type creatures. They're clearly made of plants, and the plants are sort of undulating around each other. They're forming basic face and limb structures. And there's 2 different types. There's each of these boys are held by quite a burly-looking vine-type creature that seems to be holding them, just grasping them in place, that you can see loops of the vines around their neck, but they're not necessarily screaming. Next to them, and there's a few others surrounding them, there's other tree-type creatures that have got spikes and points on. The screaming that you can see from your vantage point, and you're about 50 feet or so away from them now. Your dark vision has kicked in. It is very dark in the forest. You can see that one of these needle-type creatures raises a limb, and then needles from the end of the limb shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this boy, and they impact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's the gurgle, and then the coughing up of blood, and then it falls limp. And next to that, you can see exactly the same with the second boy. The second boy sort of it's a bizarre thing. In fact, I'm going to ask for a last perception check just to see if you can make out what's happening with the boys.
19.
The second boy, you can tell that he's covered in blood. His clothes are ripped and ragged, and it looks like the wounds he's received are from these needle creatures. But he seems to be healing from them, and his wounds close. And then as the wounds close, and he takes a breath, and he screams, and he's, no, not again, no. And he'll say, Brum, no, Brum. And then needles shoot at him. Wet gurgling noise, and he passes out. What do you want to do?
Can I see how many enemies there are?
From your vantage point, you can see 5. So you've got 2 of the larger vines, and you can make out 3 of the needle creatures. They haven't noticed you. Nothing's turned towards you.
Nobody's gonna fucking notice me, I assure you. Obviously, I know what I'd do, but the character's going to get involved. I think they're going to try and rescue them from afar, being a bow expert.
Okay. So you've got 2 boys being held by 2 vines with 3 needle creatures. What's your attack plan?
Needle creatures first.
Needle creatures first. Nearest one to you, or one at one of the... One's floating, and then you've got 1 each on each of the boys.
The one that's floating about, I think.
Floating about. Okay.
Yeah, pick them outwards, inwards.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So, bow out, 2 arrows. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave you there then. I'm going to move on to Brungrik. So Brungrik, you're in Greyhawk. Your journey has been relatively short. You knew your destination, but when you get there, the signs are a little bit confusing as to what has happened. You have little choice but to continue on. You've got no other option. You were aware of the fact that werewolves were involved. Then you come across a village that's abandoned, and you continue forwards. And then, not long into your journey, mist surrounds you. Similar situation to Lewis. I'm gonna fast forward that bit, Sam, if you're happy, mate. You hear a similar scream, and I checked your I checked both of your passive perceptions before I started, and Brungrik's was a lot higher than Theron's, which is a decent reason for me to do it this way around. And you easily make out the screams. Same situation. You're on the road. You're not in Kansas anymore. What would Brungrik be doing? He's froze. He's thinking.
Considering the task at hand, he'd go straight. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry. Considering the task, his mission, he'll charge straight off towards the screaming noises.
Okay, straight in.
Probably not as elegantly as Theron.
Okay, I'm going to reverse the situation ever so slightly.
A bit more of a it'll just charge towards them.
Okay.
I feel like I'm struggling over here.
What do you mean?
Seems like there's a delay. Let me just.
Yeah, your Discord's got a bit of a delay on it.
Knock it off and on again, mate.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on it.
What do you think of Obi-Wan, Dave?
Oh, mate, yes, I've just seen the third episode.
Awesome, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Don't say anything though, because Sam's got about 15 minutes of the third episode to watch.
I've got to rewatch it.
I'll rewatch it. Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's one of them where I've enjoyed more
I've got to
boring
rewatch
than the other one. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is good. It is good.
I think I've sorted it.
Are we good?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so as you charge forward, you see pretty much the same as Theron does, with the exception. I mean, actually, what I'm going to give you, because Theron, you rolled 19 for your perception, and Brungrik's run up with your passive as 18. So I'll tell you what, Sam, give us a perception check just to see. I like to see, even with passive, just to see if you can get. Okay, so you kind of notice each other at the same time. So you hear the gurgling scream of these two boys. You both clock what's happening. Theron's there slightly before you. You've got your bow drawn. You're pointing in that direction, and just over your left shoulder, you see coming out of the brush this. You know what's a good time for? What does Brungrik look like, Sam?
So out of this bush's charges a Billy Colony looking dwarf with a full head of stone grey hair, a thick plaited stone grey beard, short, stocky. When you look at him, I mean, I assume you're familiar with weapons. Theron would be familiar with weapons. You know, the armor's not new. You know, the axe isn't new. They've both seen, they've seen war, they've seen battle, but they're well kept. You can tell this is a man that's proud of his armament, and he looks after them well. But they aren't off the factory floor, as it were. And as he steps out, he just sort of rolls his shoulders with his axe in his hand and his shield in his other hand, cracks his neck, looks at Theron and says, "Get involved or get back."
So what
in that Scottish accent that comes with Billy Connolly when we make the movie.
Right, big end. That's it. That's all you're getting. So what does Theron look like?
Do you remember Thranduil off Lord of the Rings? Well, the Hobbit.
Yes.
The one that gets killed.
Yeah.
That. So your average looking, glistening skinned elf with long blonde hair. Yeah.
You want the same actor, do you, Lewis?
You what?
Do you want the same actor for when we make the movie?
Yeah. that so basically just like an elf. I don't know how else to describe it. If you know what he looks like in the movie, you've got a good idea of what he looks like.
Okay, so sort of wood elfy.
Yeah.
Lots of greens and browns going on.
Yeah, green, brown. He's got his hood up at the minute, so you can only see some of his blonde strands coming through. Let's say like here. Quite more. What's the word I'm looking for? More of a chiseled jaw than, let's say, I don't know, Orlando Blue. Do you know what I mean? Quite more masculine, but you can still tell he's an elf.
Got you. Okay. So you clock each other. The vines are in front of you. What would Theron do? You've still, as far as I'm concerned, you've still got the drop on these blights. Is anything going to change now that this old grizzled dwarf has come charging through the brush?
He'll probably look at him and go, typical dwarf charging in with a bit of a cocky way of saying it. Just don't get yourself killed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's roll initiative.
Oh. Let's get down to business. Oh, you might have to push it, Dave.
Hold up. Oh yeah, because I've got to give you ownership of your characters. Now then, make sure don't move your characters for now. This is the first time we've done this, isn't it? So ownership to that one is Pride.
What's going on here? I've lost all of my macros.
If you go to Windows at the top and open the Selected tab.
Selected, yeah. There we go. Top.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, should be yours then, Sam. If you can see that, you got that?
Oh, yeah. What have I got? Oh, +2. I rolled really bad then, didn't I?
You did. However, I'm going to give Theron a surprise round from the nature of your advance. From Brungrik's advance, it doesn't sound likely that you were going for a surprise. Let me just hold up, Sam. I can see that.
There we go.
Yeah, nice one, dude. Right, I'm just going to save it as that. Okay, Theron, you get the drop. What are you going to do?
So bear with me playing this new character.
Yeah.
If I'm getting the drop on him, I'm going to do a sneak attack on. Oh, come on, you. That one.
That one. Oh, it still says Rillik.
Oh no!
Sure. Roll to hit.
No. What's the matter with my computer today? Oh, nat 20, 31.
Oh, Jesus.
First combat for you, dude. This is gonna sting.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm gonna say to you is you've got 2 shots, dude.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want your crit sneak attack? Oh, go on then. Roll it. Let's go mad. So that's 2d8, 2d6 plus
16.
Plus your sneak attack.
Yeah, which is 1, typical.
It's not, because you've got another d6.
Oh, yeah. 6, so 7. And I get 2 shots, don't I, with my...
You do. However, that first shot will kill this needle blight outright. How do you want to kill that first one?
So the boys are obviously still screaming, and you just and it just smacks the needle blight straight through the face onto the ground.
Nice. Just adjust your camera up a bit, Lewis. I can just see the bottom of your face.
My face.
Your face.
You can see my chins when I do this, though. Look.
Yeah, I know. Me too, mate. Don't. We had a Chinese last night. Sam now owes me a Chinese.
Or a character or something like that.
yeah. Second shot then.
Second shot, I'm going to go for this little bugger down here. I think.
Okay.
Still the needle blast.
Yeah. This one is up against this the older of the two boys.
Yeah.
Roll to hit. Natural 20 first shot.
That'll do it.
12.
Well, that's a natural one. However, if you're shooting from a stealthed position, you do roll with advantage.
Oh. I'll do that again then.
Yeah, just roll. Yeah. Don't roll a 1. Well, not with advantage.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. 26 is going to hit.
Okay.
Plus 11. That's just sickening.
Plus 11.
12.
12 damage is going to kill it outright. How do you want to kill that one?
So, again, the second arrow that gets let loose, just straight through the middle and just rips it in half.
Okay, so let's add a bit of flavour to this. Are you moving as well? Are you?
I'm going to say, what shall I do? What shall I do?
And bonus actions, in fact.
Yeah, I'm going to hide. So I'm just looking at the layout of the terrain. Probably take like this bit here. Is that just vines here?
This is quite open. You've got sort of a bit of vines there. You've got trees here, trees there, and trees all around.
So I'm going to base it like to there, I think.
Okay.
And it's just where I'm shrouded slightly.
Sure. So move to there, and then you've got a cunning action hide, I believe.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Right. Roll your stealth.
26.
Right. So what Brungrik has seen as you've looked over, as you've charged in, is this elf who's just sort of appeared, gone 1 shot, 2 shots, taken a couple down, and then he's just vanished. He's just disappeared as you start charging forwards.
Rolled out.
Yeah. So that takes us to the first official round of combat without surprises. So what's going to happen now is this boy was down. He and he starts to come to, and his wounds heal, and Brungrik can see that his wounds are healing as you're charging forwards. And then there's the gasp as he comes to, and he looks up and sees the blights in front of him to start off with, and straight away he's going no, and his brother says, "Brother, to your right." And they both look over and see Brungrik running in as the needle blights all move. So Brungrik has seen blights before. You know what these are.
Yeah.
They've got a movement of 30. So we're going to move to there. Let me just check the range of 60. 35. They're going to have to move a bit closer. The needle blights are going to abandon the boys and move in closer to you. Let's take him to there. That should all be. Yep, that's still 30. And then the one from behind. 10. That might be it slightly. Right. There's going to be quite a few needles flying towards the dwarf. As they raise their arms, all of these needles detach themselves and start flying. It's like there seems to be a small barrage of darts flying towards Brungrik as you try and cower behind your shield. The first one rolls.
Hang on. How many times are you going to do it?
5 hits.
Okay, so every single time I want you to roll at a disadvantage, please, mate.
Okay.
And I'm going to use all my wards and flares because he knows what's coming. He knows what's going on. He sees what they're doing, and he's just going to flashes of light try
Okay.
and blind them so they can't hit him.
Do you have to say that before rolls then?
It's a reaction to impose disadvantage. I assume so. I'm flavouring it a little bit.
Okay, a reaction to.
Yeah, so it's a reaction.
Yeah.
Warding flare. When you are attacked by a creature that can be blinded within 30 feet that you can see, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. And
So
I can use it 5 times per long rest.
you can, but you've only got one reaction per turn.
Oh, okay, so I'll use the first one then.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is I'll see if I attack it, see if I hit you, and you can use it on that one.
Okay.
That to me is what a reaction should be.
Okay.
So the
fine.
first one rolled a 9. Second one rolled a 9. Third is an 18.
Keep going.
Okay. Fourth is an 11. And oh no, 17. So all miss anyway, Sam.
Okay.
So that takes us to Theron's turn again.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Right. So I take it I'm still sneaky.
You're still hidden. Yeah, they're not looking at you at all. They can't see you.
Okay. So
I've said that. They do have blind sight. They can't. Oh, you know what? They can see you. Unfortunately, now they know you. Creatures. Right. Okay. You've hidden from them. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how that works. They've got blind sight, but you're hidden. A monster with blind sight can perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within a specific radius, and this is 60.
So I'm in that range.
Yeah.
So I'm 50. That's fine.
Okay. All I'm going to say then is that's going to negate your advantage to hit. So as they were all looking at Brungrik, you managed to secure yourself in a position where they wouldn't be able to hit you, but they were still aware of you. So you're not properly hidden. You'd sort of pick up on the fact that they know where you are.
Okay, so no stealth attack then?
No.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Fighting Spirit.
Okay.
So I'll give myself advantage on all attack rolls until the end of the turn.
Okay, that does it then.
I'm going to do Action Surge.
Right.
Which allows me to take one additional action on my turn.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to attack.
Okay. Are we going for the needle lads again?
What I'm going to probably do, Dave, is go for that one.
Well, here's where we're struggling now. If you click on if you click on Theron, you can only see 3 of these lads with your dark vision.
Oh, is it dark?
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, I can move, can't I?
Of course you can.
So if it gets into a better... Now he knows that they're aware I'm here, I could always move to here. Oh, look at that. Whereas now I can see that one.
As if by technology. Yes.
Yeah. Where's Sam? Sam's there. Right, so I'm going to go for that one, and that one.
Right, 1 second, mate. I was just clicked on something else. So, do which one first?
I'm going to go for that one.
Yeah.
That one.
Okay, let's roll this one first then. Because you've got 4 shots now, haven't you, with Action Surge?
2, 3. Bonus action.
1 attack.
Hang on. Bonus action, Fighting Spirit. So I get advantage with that. Action Surge gives me an additional action on your turn.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Sorry.
It's all right.
All right, then. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then go for that other vine one there, I suppose.
Well, let's see how you get on first. So this
Alright.
one first, and then you can choose. You can choose after that. So advantage with this one.
29.
29 is going to hit. Roll your damage if you want.
10.
10. Doesn't quite take it.
Okay. So I'll do another one to hit then.
Sure.
What can I do?
Is the advantage for the whole round?
Yeah.
Nice. Here's a question for you. You didn't kill it outright, however, you were attacking with advantage, so in theory you can attach your sneak attack to one of these attacks.
Okay then. I'll attach my sneak attack to that one then.
Nice, new
So-
characters.
I have a cunning plan. Bollocks.
That's all you needed. It's dead.
Oh. So that one's down then. And can I, once I've done all my shots, can I then say how I've downed that one?
Sure.
Sound. So on this one, on this next shot, I'm going to utilise my sharpshooter feat,
Okay.
which allows me to take a -5 penalty to my attack roll, but I
Okay.
get to add a 10 plus damage to my attack.
Right, which one are you going for now?
So I'm going to go for. Did I say that one?
It's,
Was that
you
one
please
better?
yourself, mate. It's just one shot at a time is the best way to do it,
Yeah.
Lewis, I'd say.
That one there then.
Sure.
So whatever I do, take 5 off this.
Okay. With advantage.
Yep. 31.
That's a natural 20.
Yep.
Hold up. Natural 20, but you get -5, so it's not actually a natural 20.
So
Would it not go off his modifier? Natural 20 plus 11 minus 5. So
It's
it'd be a 26 to hit. wouldn't
it's a
it?
valid argument, but it's still a
I still
natural
get plus
20.
10 to my attack anyway.
That's what I'm
Either
saying. The natural 20 is one thing. He's almost taking the -5 off his plus 11.
Nice.
isn't he?
I'd say- You know what, mate? Straight away, I'm starting to think with this build, you need to figure out how to stack dice. Instead of 1d8, you need to figure out how to get 2d8 or an extra d6 on every. Sneak attack's nice, but it's only 1.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm thinking about. I've got a rough idea. I've spent countless hours planning this fucker.
have you?
Especially like waiting outside the hospital
Yeah, he
for
has.
4 and a bit hours.
Awesome. Well, it's working so
Jake-
far. Roll
Yeah.
your
Jake
crit.
messages.
So
Roll your crit, and we'll add plus 10, so 27 damage.
yeah. Okay, shot number 3.
Hold up, that one's dead. Yeah, shot number 3.
I think
What?
Brungrik's just going to sit down and smoke his pipe.
23.
Hold up. Is this a normal shot then?
Oh shit! I didn't. Yeah, we're going to have to because I didn't.
Okay. And
Didn't
this
say that it was not going to be.
this lad,
Yeah.
23 hits. Roll your damage.
10.
Oh, not enough.
Yep. And then obviously my final shot, which I'm going to take a -5 on my thingy, on my hit. Oh, I'm debating which one to go for. It's pointless going for him. I'm still going to go for this fine dude up here.
Okay.
Dave. All right.
Hold up. Your sharpshooter. Does it say you can only do it? Is it? No, it doesn't actually. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. You can do it anytime you want.
Yeah, as long as I just declare it before I do the
Go on
thing.
then. Go on then.
I have to keep going back and forth. So, advantage roll. 21, take away 5,
16.
16.
Oh. Still hits. Jesus.
Okay, so roll that.
These are a bit stocky.
22.
22 is not enough to take it down.
Okay, so that's that. So obviously these first two, if he fires his couple of shots, again, one arrow rips straight through 2 of them because they're kind of standing next to each other, aren't they? And then the other arrow flies into this one here through the leg, just dropping it to one knee. And this one, it flies through to its chest and just staggers it slightly as it goes backward
Nice.
with the
Okay. Anything else?
No, because I've used my bonus turn and I've moved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Give me a second because the boy's up. So the boy. Let me just check which one's which. So this lad, this wee nipper at the top. As the arrow streaks past, he looks at you, and this they're both healed now. They're both fully healed. You can tell where the needles have impacted on the clothes. Like I said before, there's holes on the clothes and there's blood dripping down, but they're healed and whole. This lad is going to attempt to break the hold of the vine blight. And once I remember how you do that, so big ask. No, you can see him fighting. He's just on the right side of Feral. This older boy now. He's kicking and screaming and fighting. And he'll say to the other boy, "Bray, fight, fight! They're coming to rescue us! Fight!" And it's the other boy's turn, and he's going to try and do the same. So inspired by his brother shouting to him, he's not strong enough either. But they're both now quite active. The blights that these two blights are still. Is it their turn next? Yeah. So what they're going to do? The vines that are around the boys drop, and you can see around both of the blights an aura around them appears. Yeah, that's not ideal. Will you keep it for now? And what happens in this area is the foliage underneath starts to writhe and rise up. What was open ground before has now become quite dense foliage. That's their turn, however. Are they going to move? Is the next question. They're kind of like, yeah, if anything, that one's going to drop back a bit to there. That one's going to drop back to there. So this aura, these vines, and this the foliage, as it's starting to writhe and undulate, it's moving back with them. You can tell that it's very much an effect that surrounds them. Right, Brungrik.
So Brungrik is going to carry on with his charge, come forward and stop just short.
Yep.
Pull his shield across his chest and just go back to where you came from, fiends. And he's going to use Radiance of Dawn.
It's a new one on me.
Can you say short as a dwarf?
All hostile creatures within 30 feet, which they all are, need to take a con saving throw of DC 16.
Okay, so I'm going to do the Vine Blights first. Furthest away and then closest. DC
16.
First one rolls 4, second one rolls 12. And then we've got 3 blights, so I'm going to do left to right. 3 needle blights. 6, 12, 5. Everything fails.
So they will take 20 points of radiant damage.
Okay. That one dies.
Oh, you dirty slag.
That one dies.
One shot. Boom.
That one dies. That one dies. There's 1 blight left. You know, as I was arranging this encounter, I thought, oh, I don't want to kill the lads on the first turn. I should have put 3 times the. That's awesome.
I'm not being funny, but you've slaughtered at least 50% in a surprise round in a normal turn. I had to play catch up here, and he's gonna be like, "Holy shit! I need to do something as impressive as that."
Nice. So there's only 1 blight left. Anything else, Sam? That's movement, action. It was a spell action as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Was that a spell?
It's a channel divinity.
So it's okay. It's not a spell, so you have got a bonus action.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Shall I do
Do
it?
Do it. Do it. This is for flavour. This is a character introduction. You've won, mate.
So,
I've got a funny story to tell you.
Pull
Like,
his
in a
shield
minute when we
across.
come this.
Flat to pure sunlight. If there's any magical darkness, it breaks the magical darkness. By the way, Dave, I don't think it's relevant though. Obviously annihilates everything, and then he just looks at the last one, and he knows his business. He's dealt with these things before, and he just has a little tap on his necklace, and his spiritual weapon appears next to the blight, a great dwarven battle axe.
There you go, dude. I've already prepared it for you.
Thank you very much.
Now then, let me order. Yes, it hits. Now he's on.
18 on the hit.
He's on 6 hit points, dudes. Don't let me down.
9 points of damage.
Plus 5. There's no way you could have missed. Right. Let me take. Let me just save this spiritual weapon. So, oh yeah, I need to give it to Mr. Drage. So,
Divinity. Spells.
okay, so you that's impressive, boys. I'm happy with that. So
7 baby.
as the radiant light explodes from Brungrik, the weapon appears. The boys who were they were going feral on these 2 vine blights, and the vine blights just wither and disintegrate in front of them as they're sort of taken aback ever so slightly, and they do turn towards you. The little one was in front. He backs off towards the older one. The older one will sort of stand in front with his arm in front. What's going to happen? What's your approach to these young boys now?
Brungrik will probably, with sort of a Jedi hand motion, dissipate the spirit weapon. Just sort of, you're done now. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And he'll, I want to say drop to one knee, but he's only a short little guy anyway. It's a problem when you're 6'4" and you're playing someone that's 4 foot tall. You're not sure how to do it.
Just imagine you.
So he's sort of,
just imagine you sat down.
He relaxes and he's like, "It's all right now, lads. They're gone. Nothing to fear now."
Okay.
Scottish accent.
Okay. I'm gonna add a dice roll to it then. Let's have. Sounds like a persuasion to me, Sam.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can. I'm gonna give you.
That'll do.
Oh yeah, I was going to say you can have advantage because you have just basically saved them. So these 2 boys, as you sort of try and placate. Well, I mean they're already placated, but as the situation resolves itself, you say your bit. You can see that they sort of naturally relax a little bit. The eldest boy turns to the younger boy and says, "Come on, Bray, we must be off." And the older boy, the younger boy, says, "What? Ma and Pa are going to kill us, Bram." And then Bray says, "Thanks very much, you two. Don't tell me, Ma." And then he'll sort of
Wait, lads, wait. Don't run off just yet.
Both of them fold in on themselves, and as they duck down, their size reduces from a boy to the size of and they turn into a small raven. And as they throw their what were arms back, wings appear. The head elongates, and there's a beak on the end, and the claws and talons come out the bow, and 2 ravens where the boys stood now fly away into the distance.
Brungrik probably kicks a pebble or something in a bit of frustration. Damn it! And then probably turns to the elf, and quite impressive look on his face is he says it's mighty fine shooting considering the disability of your ears.
As Theron then walks over towards the
He says it in a
blight.
jovial way. It's not like he's hateful. It's quite jovially said.
Well, Theron's walking over towards the blights now to see if he can scavenge any of his arrows out of the bodies of him and say, yes, but don't stand up, you know. And if you do, take a bow.
Oh, I miss the humour of elves. You tall, slender git.
You can have 2 hours back, Lewis.
Sound, thank you. I have actually been taking them off as well. I'm trying to get it into a good habit.
Well done, mate. Well done.
So please do 16 out of there. Lovely.
What brings you out here, friend?
Well, there I was, walking through a lovely field, thinking about the gorgeous wine that I'd just drank. Next thing I know, I'm in this foggy mess of a wood, with not a single drop of ale in sight, staring at you.
And as you mention ale, he has that sort of a mischievous grin across his face, and he's like, I knew you were a man after my own heart. As he sort of taps his armor suggestively, like he's got something tucked away for later. Now, about business, you wouldn't happen to know of a and he sort of looks around, finds the pouch that he's looking for, pulls out a parchment and does a bit of this. A Leowraith. I think he's one of your kind. A Leowraith. If you come across him on your travels, he'll be travelling with a brother of mine of the Church of Pelor, and he holds his shield across and indicates the blazing sun on the front of it.
Theron will go, name doesn't ring a bell, but then again, I have been about a bit.
Theron would not know the name Pelor as a deity.
No. Okay. So, but he wouldn't know Leowraith, so I wouldn't know the name. And who is this Pelor that you speak of? Is it some kind of brand of mead?
I don't mean to be rude, but are you for real? He's a deity. He's the god of the sun. He brings light into he gives birth to the daylight in the morning, and you can see he's sort of like he's fighting that battle of preaching to you about God, and then realizing that you're probably not a godly man, and it's completely pointless with what you've just said to him. And he says, "Sorry, what town? Where do you originate from? Whereabouts are you from?"
These discussions can wait. Obviously, you're deranged because you're talking about fake gods. Let's get ourselves out of this wood, find the closest bar, and have a chat.
When you say fake gods, you see a bit of red rosiness in his cheeks and a bit of a, and then you can see it's a very short spike of he wants to say something crass, and then he just sort of. That sounds good to me.
And as he walks by, he goes,
mention
"Come on,
of ale.
dwarf, the first round's on me."
Well, if you're buying.
So the mist is still all around you. You can find your way back to the road easy enough. You weren't far off the road at this point. In terms of scratching around for other bits and pieces, these were blights, as Brungrik would know. And obviously, Brungrik, the obvious implication with blights being here is there must be a Gulthias tree somewhere in these lands, wherever you are. So you get onto the road again, and you still, as far as Theron is concerned, travelling in an easterly direction. I'll say that similar for Brungrik as well. As you travel, the mists, this mist that was behind you, this sort of undulating mist that seems to be pushing you, is laying off a little bit, and the ground and the ground fog, the ground mist does ease. Everything now is to the west of you. All of the mist, this massive fog bank, and you continue east. And it would be Brungrik that hears it first with your passive. You hear the toll of a bell, and it's a weird one because it's sort of discordant. Instead of a ding dong ding, or a a tune of some description, there's two, maybe three bells, and they're just going mad. They're all in. There's no rhyme or reason to them, but that seems to be coming from further along this road to the east. As you travel for, the sound of a bell is going to travel for a good half a mile or so, so it's going to take you sort of 10 minutes, even with dwarf legs. That's it. I've got it out of my system, so I'm not going to say.
I was going to say this is the new punchline.
Yeah. So the... Oh, bear with me. The road branches north, so it continues east, but there's a branch leading north, and it climbs a rocky escarpment ending in a gatehouse built into a 20-foot high wall that you can see into the distance. It is stone reinforced with buttresses every 50 feet or so. The wall encloses a settlement on the side of the snow-dusted mountain spur. Beyond the wall, you see the tops of snow-covered pines and thin white wisps of smoke. A sombre toll of a bell comes from a stone abbey that clings to the mountainside high above the settlement. The steady chime is inviting, although discordant. A welcome change from the deathly silence and oppressive fog that you have grown accustomed to. It's hard to tell at this distance, but there seems to be a switchback road clinging to the cliffs leading from the walled settlement up to the abbey in the distance. I'm going to give you this. This is fan art. Where I'm a fan of the old Curse of Strahd fan art. So not necessarily the snow on the ground, but you have got the snowy peaks. I'd like to think of this as taller. That's the abbey. That's the switchback road, and this is the town. The bells seem to be coming from the abbey, and from the distance that you are, the road is going to continue along to the east over there. And from this distance, you would be able to make out movement of humanoids behind the gatehouse here. What do you want to do?
They look for that drink, laddie.
Yeah, obviously it looks inviting, doesn't it? So just walk chatting towards it, I guess. Obviously, as long as hands aren't on weapon and we look not
Relaxed,
like a threat.
yeah.
As soon as we get close to the gate, I'm assuming some odd bod's going to say, "Halt! Who goes there?" Hello.
That was almost an Obi-Wan Kenobi impression there, Lewis.
I know, yeah.
This isn't the town you're looking for. That's it. That's my effort. Your turn, Sam. No.
No.
So on approach, the air grows colder as you approach the walled settlement. Two square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway, into which is set a pair of 12-foot tall iron-bound wooden doors. It's sturdy. Carved into the arch above the door is the name Krezk, which is Krezk. The walls that extend from the gatehouse are 20 feet high. Atop the parapet you see 4 figures wearing fur hats and clutching spears. They watch you nervously. So it is worth mentioning that it is cold here. Because I know Theron came from... I'm going to assume for you that you've both got travelling packs that can accommodate cold weather. And from the gatehouse, a female voice says, "Who goes there?"
What sort of time of day is it, Dave? Would you say roughly?
Best
As a guess.
estimate, it's still heavily misted. There's no natural bright light. Overcast +3. You would guess perhaps midday at best.
I would say even in his context, 'cause obviously he'd have been travelling the day before he entered into. So
Yeah.
Brungrik will probably shout up, "Good afternoon, lassie. We're just two weary travellers of the road, looking to whet our palate, and maybe enjoy a fine meal. If you have an establishment of that kind here."
No strangers in. No one's allowed in.
And why
Comes
not?
with a response. And she sort of turns and she says something to the guard. She says, "Hold. We'll go and fetch the burgomaster." And there's going to be a decent pause now. So someone scuttles away, and you're left there for a good 10 minutes before anyone comes back. Did you have any plans in the 10 minutes?
Brungrik might have a little jab at I wouldn't let you in either.
Well, whilst we're waiting, would you like to hear a song? And he'll whip out his flute and start playing some elvish music.
Nice, like it.
Surprisingly, Brungrik isn't against it. I don't know what. Sorry, Luce, you have to excuse my ignorance with his name. Theron's experience is with dwarves, so I can't speak on that. But he's not against it. He's quite happy to just stand and listen and watch you play and appreciate the art for what it is.
Nice. So the guards eventually you see one and then two that as you're playing along, you can see one starts to nod their head and then someone will nudge him, and then the next one was like, shit, no, we've got to be professional. So after a good 10 minutes or so, you hear a bit of commotion as a human appears on the walls. Older looking fella, a little bit sort of rough and ragged around the edges, but sort of fine features. I'll give you again. This is fan art. The one that was in the book, I didn't sort of portrays him too well. And this fella, and he sounds. The best way I can describe him, he sounds like Yorkshire nobility or Lancastrian nobility. So he's not the Queen,
posh.
yeah, but you know where I'm coming from. He is a noble, but he's very matter of fact, and he'll lean over the walls and say, "Greetings, travellers. My name is Dmitry Krezkov. I'm the burgomaster here. And he'll say, Doris tells me that you wish to gain entry. I'm sorry, that's out of the question. No one from Krezk leaves, and no one enters unless there's a very good reason to do so."
I think at Theron at this point would probably stop playing his flute and say, "But good sir, we are the entertainment for this evening in the bar. You're not surely going to stop an artist like myself," and he's being quite flamboyant with it. Say,
Okay.
an artist like myself not go to my appeasing fans.
You can see a sort of a wry grin, and he'll say, "You're new in these lands, aren't you?"
What gave it away?
This is Barovia. Have you heard of Barovia?
Is it some kind of wine, good sir? We're awfully parched.
Did you want to have just a random history check, both of you, just to see if there's anything that Barovia
Can I apply my stone cut into this, Dave?
No. Can you? Oh, you're determined to do it. Do a history check.
I've got a
That's what you meant
six,
to do.
so I'm more focused on wine, I think, and
Yeah.
putting a bit of a performance on.
Yeah. So, no, neither of you would have an idea of what or where Barovia is. Dmitry will say to you, as you sort of continue in the jovial nature of the conversation, he will, the sort of stern, serious visage will reappear, and he'll say, "You're locked in Barovia," and he'll point over to the west and he'll say that the mists there, that is the border to the east. That mist is impenetrable, and there's a mist to every single compass point. The land is locked. The Lord is a vampire by the name of Strahd von Zarovich.
At the mention of vampire, Brungrik will, quite aggressively spit, not at him, at the floor, almost like he's warding off a curse by the mention of the term vampire.
Sound. He is a Dark Lord and a tyrant. No one is allowed to leave these lands with the exception of his Vistani spies. We have survived. His domain, his sanctuary is a castle, Castle Ravenloft, well over to the east. We are the furthest village away from Castle Ravenloft, and not very often are we troubled by any of the devil's minions, but we don't invite trouble. Fellows such as yourself have arrived before, and it has caused trouble. I mean no disrespect, but you are not coming in unless you were able to provide a service, of course.
My good master Burgomaster, I've been on the road a while in search of a brother of mine, serves in the same church as I, and I saw your beautiful abbey from the road and hoped to inquire as to some information from them, as well as enjoy a fine beverage of your town with my friend here. We recently saved 2 young children on the road from blights. I don't know if you're familiar with the creatures. Devilish little fiends. We only seek for somewhere to rest and then move on. I have a long search ahead of me, and I pray that my brother can be found in these lands.
In terms of blights, yes, the blights try and get in every now and again. Our walls are strong, and we manage to fend them off.
Fine walls they are. Dwarven or human made?
Human made, but my ancestors built them.
You come from a fine line of stonemasons. These walls would be the envy of many a dwarven hold back home.
Got it in, Sam. Can we drop that now for the rest of the campaign? No. He'll say, "Yeah, my ancestors built this to last. They had the foresight of barricading us in, and I don't intend to let the line down." You can see at this. I'll tell you what. Let's have a quick insight check from both of you.
Oh, you son of a
natural one, Sam. Yeah. You can tell when he says line, you can just see there's a moment's pause as he's mentioned lineage. There's something on his mind that he's not happy about, but not too sure. He moves on. Let me just try and think about everything that you just said, Sam. In terms of
going to the abbey to speak to.
Yeah,
to inquire about a cleric.
Yeah, the abbey. He says the abbey it's a haunted place now, and you can still hear the bell, this discordant chimes. That we had a stranger visit. The villagers call him the abbot. He arrived 100 years ago, and occasionally he wanders into the village, and he hasn't aged a day. He has taken over the abbey. The abbey is a holy place. It used to be a hospital, a very holy place, but since he's been there, it's now haunted. He visits in the village, telling us that he's trying to clear out the spirits, but none of the villagers go near. However, in terms of you wanting to enter to sample the local beverage, that is possibly something that you could help us with.
It would be I would be foolish to ignore my duties to secure holy places. It would, of course, if that's what if you require someone to do this task, then open your gates and I will cleanse it.
At
That's
this
cannot
point,
walk
Theron
away
would probably
from-
put his hands up and go, I didn't volunteer for this. I just want the wine.
Shut your mouth, you stupid pointy-eared bastard.
so. Dimitri will say that the abbey will be open to you. The village will be open to you if you manage to secure wine for us. We have regular deliveries of wine every week. A delivery from the winery to the south of us delivers wine. We haven't received any of this wine for 2 weeks. And again, you can tell he's reticent in telling you this. The wine is what Barovians survive on, especially out here in the west. We have very little comfort, and wine helps. No deliveries for 2 weeks. Our stores are dwindling. If you can find a way to get wine to us, then I will open the gates for you, and that is the only condition in which you will be able to gain entry.
Even though we've offered to clear the abbey.
The abbey doesn't cause any trouble to anyone. The abbot himself, if once you're in, I'm sure if you're a holy man, you would be able to do as you say. But if I let you in, it invokes the wrath of the devil. The only other thing that I could tell you is if you're here, you've been brought in by the devil for some reason, and I don't wish to incur his wrath.
Well, wine's important. One must keep his palate wet. What do you say, laddie? I'm trying to think of something really clever to say, but I couldn't off the top of my head.
Well, I could just
I mean,
shoot him.
it'll be cheap. And this is more like a whispered conversation. It'll be cheaper from the source than from the bar. And he does that, pats his armor again. I'm sure I can tide this over.
He'll probably shout up to him and go, well, do you have anything that you could spare, or you could pay some coin for you to throw it over the wall, and we can throw you some coin over, or leave it? Because obviously it's quite cold out here, and we need something to warm our cockles.
The wine and the stores are for the villagers. We are self-contained. If I was to give it away, then possibly a family could go hungry or thirsty. I am sorry. I genuinely don't mean any disrespect by this, but this, as you are new to these lands, it falls upon me to tell you that you are in a dread place. Barovia is not one of your normal towns or cities or areas. This is dread and fell. We have to obey the
Theron will
laws.
probably turn around and go, yes, doom and gloom. Come on, Brungrik. I told you I'm going to have fun with this character.
Yeah, sound like it. For now.
For now.
I might be having the fun later.
Before they walk away, Brungrik. Oh, apologies. While we have your attention, Master Burgomaster, would you happen to have come across a fellow brother of the Church of Pelor and a friend of his? My memory, my old age, and he pats again, looking for founds the pouch and pulls out his parchment. One Leowraith.
No, afraid not. Doesn't ring a bell.
No.
And we don't have such gods here. We have the Morning Lord and the Night Mother. If Pelor is similar to the Morning Lord, I'm not sure. We only have the two gods that people worship in Barovia.
Interesting. Maybe we could discuss that at a later date.
Nothing would make me happier than to welcome you in. You seem like fine gentlemen. I hope this land doesn't totally destroy your spirit. If you take advice from an old burgomaster, from an old hand of these lands, is try and keep your spirit. You're going to need it.
Thank you, good Master Burgomaster, and hopefully we'll sort your issues and deal with the Abbey on our return.
He'll shout down. He'll say, "Dimitri's fine. I look forward to your return." And he turns around.
Oh shit! Which way do we need to go?
Well, the guards can pick this up. The guards will say that you're on the old Svalich road. If you follow the Svalich road to the east, there's a signpost south to the Wizard of Wine's winery.
Off with pop then.
Okay.
Get it from the source.
So I'm going to fast forward a little bit now, guys, because we can take you up to meeting with the other chaps. So we'll take you to the Wizard of Wine's winery. This is, in fact, no, I'm not. You're going to have to rest. So you manage to get to a crossroads by nightfall, and it becomes clear that you're either going to have to march, create some form of light, and keep marching, force march, or keep marching through the night, or camp for the night. There is plenty of woodland to camp in. It's still misty, it's still foggy, it's still a little bit cold. Starts to get dark as you approach the crossroads. What do you want to do?
Brungrik would be inclined to rest. He's not a young man anymore. And marching through the night is a young man's game.
Shall we take it in turns? Obviously, I only need 4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Do that Elven trance thing, don't they? They only need 4 hours.
The
So, who wants to go first? Me or thee?
If I cover the first 4 hours, and then you take it from there till we see the light.
At that point, Theron goes, Roger, and just rolls over.
Sure. So yeah, I just want to. I know you're on day shift tomorrow, Lewis, aren't you? So, so you managed to camp through the night. You can have a long rest. Not that you need it, because you annihilated the one encounter that I've got planned for you tonight. So you get to the Wizard of Wine's winery towards sort of late afternoon on the second day in Barovia. You meet the Martikovs. Now, you as players have already been through this with the Martikovs. They will tell you the story of Niloren. There's no mention of Leowraith, but Niloren. And Niloren has gone south to Yester Hill to help out the Martikovs to fetch, to find the gems that have all been stolen. And they offer you the chance to rest there before travelling on if you wish, or now that you've heard about Niloren is only 3 hours away to the south, what would Brungrik be doing?
He'd be eager to move on.
Okay, so as you approach Yester Hill, this is it. This is all we're going to do tonight. Then you see, in the distance, can you remember the map for Yester Hill?
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ring of Cairns.
Yeah.
So Brungrik will see the Gulthias tree on top, or a tree that looks evil, and you'll put 2 and 2 together straight away. That's the Gulthias tree. As you approach, you see from the ring of stones on the top of Yester Hill, you see red flashes of what looks like a horse with 2 people on it disappear into the distance. As you make your final approach, the last sort of 20 minutes of your journey after this has happened, that's where we'll leave it, and that's where we'll pick it up with the other lads next time. Unless you wanted to add anything to it.
He'd have been sharing his little flavour ale in a hip flask. That's the term I'm looking for.
Hip flask. A wee dram.
That's it. A wee dram
Yeah.
from his hip flask.
You're gonna have to practice your Scottish accent, Sam.
I'll watch Braveheart.
I've got some
No,
iron brew in the
no,
fridge.
I
mate,
said
if you wanna do
Scottish
some of that as
accent.
well.
They're gonna know.
I said I've got some iron brew in the fridge as well. If you want some of that,
I'll have some in the background.
I tell you what, mate. Best thing ever discovered: iron brew and whiskey mix. Oh, I can see you pulling that, mate. It's fucking awesome.
Was it?
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely can tell it's two Scottish drinks. It's the maze ball.